Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Jordo.
Good morning.
Hello, here we go.
Good morning.
It's Monday morning today. I was like, let's do one today, get the week going. We are at the end of Fire Feb.
We are. Today's the last day of...
How was your Fire Feb?
Really good. I probably listed the best properties I've ever listed. Sorted my house out, which I said I was going to do.
That's good.
Sent the sales advice off for the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I was aiming to do, wasn't it?
I think so. How was yours, Jackson?
Really good.
Yeah? Got a new girlfriend?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes.
He's
all
about
happy?
that.
Yeah.
At what age do you stop saying, will you be my girlfriend? Matt thinks you never do.
I don't think you do. I just think you just sort of, I don't know, it's a respect thing or openness thing. I like being open. I like saying, hey, are you my girlfriend, actually? Yeah.
That's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah, that's right. I think so. Well, here's something really interesting about frequency, vibration, looking around the corner. So about 6 months ago, I said to Jackson, goes, maybe longer than that, maybe a year ago. Jackson was like, oh, I had this ex-girlfriend that kept hanging around. I wasn't a fan. And Jackson goes, maybe I'll just, I don't think I'm going to, what did he say? Like, what was it? Yeah, I could see he was getting tempted about like just the easy path. And I was like, Jacko, it's your life, do what you want.
Maybe going back.
But I think you just you'll be making a huge mistake if you just go the easy path and just go back. And he's like, yeah, but it's lonely and it's this and it's, it's hard. And I could see it really bending his mind. But before that, he was not living his best life. He was overweight, partying, living a certain frequency that was showing in who he was. Like he just was not happy. Working a job that he just did not like, the whole thing, because you get what you are. And I said to Jack, if you can just remain strong and focus on yourself, and I'm not telling you what to do, I'm more just am keen to see what happens. So if you just slowly change your frequency, work on yourself, take yourself to a new place and hold it there. Just like, don't flip-flop backwards and forwards with things. Like, just keep on the path. You will attract someone you won't even believe who you're going to attract into your world. Not go and find them, into your world. And here we are, let's say a year after that conversation, and about 3 months ago, yep, in pops this girl. And now he's absolutely pumped, different person. So who he was today is today compared to a year and a half ago, polar opposite people. I get so many comments from people about Jackson and who he's become and what he looks like and this is that. Blah, blah, blah. Worked hard, very hard, made a lot of sacrifices, changed his environment, changed the people, opted to not go anywhere, wake up feeling great every weekend. Look what's happened. He's punching.
But not only that, fittest he's ever been.
Fittest he's ever
Looks
been.
Great.
Yep.
Loves his job.
Yep. Got money
in the
flowing
bank,
into
I'm
his life.
guessing.
Yeah. There's no secret to this thing. But exactly what we said, it's a law. Like, that's what I'm saying to people. It's a law. You want to turn the aircon on, Jack? It's pretty hot in here. It's a law. It's not a maybe, this would be nice or anything like that. It's actually a law. So you can't, it's a natural law that like attracts like, vibration attracts vibration. Everything that is similar will meet. And when you're, and we'll talk about a few different things today, but when you're focused on creating a new path, it can seem like you're going nowhere really fast, but this is the way I think of it, and people as well should think about it this way. Every little bit of effort that you put in that's good, good always wins every time. Every bit of effort that you put in that's good, all you're doing is lining yourself up down the track to hit the target. That's all you're doing. Like, it's not about, how much did you improve today, or how much, like, you can't really measure that. But when you're adding to your life in a positive way.
I was just going to say that. It's having the strength to play the long game.
Yeah.
Like, I actually was thinking last night, there's this property, it's $500,000, and I'm like, if I buy that property, in 10 years' time, it'll be worth $1 million and I'll be able to buy a Ferrari without spending any of my own money. But I'd have to plant the seed today for 10 years' time. And people will be like, "Wow, how cool is that?" It's like driving around in a Ferrari. And I'm like, yeah, I planted that seed 10 years ago. Same with Jackson. Like it feels like such a long time, a year and a bit. But once you get to the point where you're in momentum, it just becomes your life.
It does. And it seems like nothing. That's right. That's good. I like that analogy, the Ferrari. Not that I'd ever buy one. But you want one so desperately.
Yeah, but I want to do it the right way too.
Yeah, I know. That's really smart. For your age, amazingly smart. But you get it for free.
For free.
For free. You're getting the Ferrari for free, but you got to pay the dues now.
Yeah.
Like you got to pay the price up front. But that's why the little improvements seem like nothing. Like it's so easy not to do them. It's so easy not to. Jackson could have went and had. So here's the thing with serendipity or the moment of opportunity meets preparation. Have you heard that? Opportunity meets preparation. It's so real that it's like you can't defy nature's laws. Try and stop a tree growing. Well, you could put in a bonsai thing, I guess, and mold it. But then again, you still got actions changing it. But you can't stop energy. You can't stop. Energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't stop. It's like trying to stop water. Like you can't. Water is the strongest thing on earth, I think, isn't it? Like it will rip a building apart.
Away,
yeah, that's right. You can't stop the thing. And same as with our energy deposits. So like we are depositing little bits. That's all we can control, really, if you think about it. We can't control down there, but we can line ourselves up with it. So if you want, what's something you want? Your Ferrari. You want that Ferrari. So vibration, you got to chuck it forward. So you throw it forward and go. Like right now, I jumped things now. But every time I go to the gym, you know what I'm thinking about? Every single time. Or I've got a 12-month target, 55. I've got 55 in my mind.
The age of 55.
It's a target in my mind. I want to have the best physique for a 55-year-old in Australia, if not in the world. That's what I want to do. Not for anyone. I don't take my shirt off. Like I don't. Bryce is always like, "Mate, you should take your shirt off on the Bondi to Bronte." I'm like, "Man, I couldn't think of anything worse." He's like, "Mate, I'll be ripping my shirt off if
Isn't that really funny that for most people they do things for other people? You literally don't.
No, I just want to see what I'm capable of. I want to see, I like molding it. I really love the process of molding it. So when I go to the gym now, and we're just about to renovate the factory and turn it into something, a really cool high performance space, like really good, good in my world. But I want to walk in, and the second I walk through the door, I want to forget the rest of the world and it do something to my inner self, you know? So like you look at it and go, yeah, I just want to be in here, you know, give it 150%. So now like I'm on this bit of a new journey to sort of see, because it all goes together. Like it's not just how good your body is. That'll flow out. Like Jackson, you know, if you look at his financial position, although it's not amazing, it's 50,000 times better than it was.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got us around it. Before he was so difficult to deal with, and his whole life was difficult, and, you know, he didn't have our support because he's, you know, not interested and all this sort of stuff. But now his life is literally sailing because of his vibrational placement. So anyway, when I go to the gym, every single time now, I've like just as of last week, I was like, am I really doing enough?
You said this morning when we come in, you said I trained that hard yesterday, legs, that I was vomiting.
Yeah. But now I'm like, okay, I'm going to go harder next one.
Yeah.
Like legs day is a good indicator because it's like the hardest one to do. And I'm going to do legs twice, maybe 3 times a week. So that's where my mind's at now. So I'm just in this race with myself. Like, I don't train with anyone. I train with Jackson and you come up sometimes and Bryce, but they couldn't give a crap what I look like. It's like, but I'm not like exactly doing it for anything. Like I'm doing it for me. Like I'm really keen to see what I can do. Because if I died at like 60 or 70, whatever, you don't know when you're going to die. But I want to like tick the box of like I really gave it my all.
Yeah.
You know, like I really do. So yeah. Anyway, when you're doing these little bits, like today's Monday.
Can I ask you about something really quickly? It's just a really interesting mindset. Like, I don't know if my mindset's like that. Like like you train and work like you're the only person on the earth. Like you don't care about anybody else. But even with business now, like realistically, you don't really need any more money. Like, and you've achieved pretty much everything anybody would ever want to in real estate. But you're still saying every year, what's next for our team?
Yeah.
What's next for our team? What's next for our team? Why?
I really think that
I can understand the body because as you get older, you want to look great. It's health. If you're not alive, you're dead. But even with, it's actually every part of your life.
Yeah, I think there's inside of me. Inside of everyone. I don't think we really understand what we're able to do. Like I don't think, and that really, I'm really curious about it. You know, like I'm really curious. I love seeing these people. Have you seen that lady in America? She's a black lady. She's 74. She looks amazing.
No,
amazing. Like literally, she looks 40. I'm really curious about that stuff. You know, like
what
did she do?
Body? Yeah,
you know, what did she? She looks. I don't know. She's probably one of the best looking people in the world at that age, if not the best. But what does she do? You know, and her husband looks terrible. Like her husband just looks like he hasn't done anything.
So strange.
Really strange.
I think like attracts like.
Yeah, and then like, you know, all areas. I'm like, well, I don't like looking back either and going, I wish I did more. Like I've sort of done that. You know, I wish I did more. Why did I do that? You know, why did I party so hard? Like all of that. But I liked it. Like this, we've talked about it before. But it's like from now to the next, 55, what can I do in that time? You know, like what can I do? It's really just a thing inside of me.
Do you think you'll ever be able to stop?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't think. Well, how do you stop? You can't stop energy movement. Someone said to me once, everything good grows. It's true. Like you got a good business, it grows. You can't say, oh, I'll just stay this big.
Yeah. It's true.
It's true. Like you can't stop it. Like it just grows. Everything average retracts. So, I don't know. Like, is there who's on the planet that's 78 years old and is phenomenal?
Arnie,
yeah. Sylvester Stallone,
yeah.
All these people. Like, I reckon there's so many secrets out there. Good secrets, not secret societies. Good secrets. I reckon there's so many secrets out there that a lot of people just either don't want to find out or can't be bothered finding out, or it's too hard. Like, it's really hard applying yourself every day.
Yeah.
Until you turn it into how you live. But it's so easy just to and one of the things I wrote yesterday, it's one of the reasons I want to do this is the gaps. Like, you know how we say there's like time management. People say there's not enough time. There's so much time. Like there is so much time. Yeah. It's in the gaps of everything you do. Like, for instance, in real estate, our job is to prospect. How many gaps in the day that you're not prospecting? One of the things I was thinking about yesterday. I reckon success lies in the gaps.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you're going to get busier, but then you've got to prospect. And where do you prospect? What's the first thing that agents stop doing? Prospecting.
Yeah.
But how many gaps would you have between appointments every day?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah. And it's about outrunning yourself, outrunning your competition. Yeah, it's like, that's why I sort of wanted to do this today. Like, let's get our mindset into this place that's the week coming. How do you make it the best week ever? How do you make today the best ever? Like, what do you need to do today to make it like, I think you've got to have like such hunger inside. Can I go back to what you said before? Yeah. You're not wired like me, or whatever you said before.
Yeah.
Just go on with that part.
Well,
so what does that mean though?
I'm wired like you, but I have different reasons.
Yeah, but you're in a different part of life.
Yeah, I know. But like, I want to build wealth to protect my family.
Yeah.
Like and I want like, to train to be healthy, but my stuff stems from other people, really. Like, that's my main purpose. But you're like, you wouldn't care if there's literally zero people on the planet. You would still try and...
I sort of like it.
Build,
just train on my own, hang on my own.
Sometimes you go, I just wish I could buy an island with nobody on it and just go and live there every now and then. But real estate does do it too with people. Goodness. Yeah. But no, that's my thinking. Like I stem everything that I do to like I hated what it felt like to have no money and to pay the mortgage with mum and stuff like that. Like that broke everybody. And that scarred me hard. So that I'm like, I can't have no money. Like otherwise it takes me back to that feeling.
But do you think I just look at things through a different lens now?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
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 Because I understand where you're at with that. And I do understand it. You know, money is important. Money is really important. But do you think maybe there might be a slightly better way to do it for you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just not driven as hard as I am in other areas. Like the wealth part you're like a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like in such a hurry to get somewhere. Like you are. It's like, get out of my way. I need to be wealthy. But what if wealth came? Like what if many years ago I was like this. I was sort of like you are in a bit of a, probably worse than you, a bit anxious all the time about getting ahead financially. What if you knew it was going to come? How would you feel? What if you knew everything that you wanted to achieve financially was going to come, whether it's 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, and you were going to be completely fine? How would you feel?
You wouldn't feel anything. You'd just be doing your thing.
Would you be less focused just in that area? If you knew it was going to come anyway?
I honestly believe I'm going to be a multimillionaire.
Yeah, that's fine.
More than my next breath. But, and not one, you know how you said the other day, I've not once in my entire career thought about the commission? I haven't either. Like, I genuinely haven't. But I'm obsessed with building wealth. And I want it so bad. I don't know why. I don't.
Yeah,
but I literally don't think about people's commissions at all.
I think it's a fear thing.
Yeah, maybe it is a fear thing.
I think it's a fear thing, but also a recognition thing. I think
definitely a recognition.
I think you want people to think you're wealthy. I really do. I think you want to get out of the Ferrari in front of the cafe.
Yeah.
Over there, and everyone turn around and everyone go, "Whoa, look at that guy."
Yeah.
I know that's a driving force inside of you.
You know, the first tattoo I ever got was Prove Them Wrong. And, like, that's one of the main things inside of me. Like, when I was in my 18 to 20s, like, literally no one talked to me. None of my friends, none of my family, like, no one, probably similar to you, but nowhere near as bad. But, like, I remember one day I made a mission to myself, like, no, I'm going to prove all of them people wrong. When I started to turn my life around, it was the first tattoo I ever got. So, like, mine actually stems on I want to say to everybody, no, I wasn't the person that everybody thought that I was going to turn out to be.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't think that's a bad thing because you could have something that drives you.
Yeah.
But what if you knew you like? What if you were going to get a Ferrari on the 10th of March, 2025, and you knew that's the day it's just going to come? Boop, it's in. How would you feel?
I would think different. Like I said to Kim a few days ago, I said if I won $100 million today, I wouldn't change my life at all. Yeah. Zero. But it would take away that anxious feeling of trying to build wealth. Like,
what is wealth though? Like you keep saying you want to build wealth, but what actually is that?
Like I want to know tomorrow that if something happened to Cookie, like if something happened to Cookie right now and they need $200,000 and no one had it, I'd sell everything that I had. I don't care if it was $1 million for an extra year. I'd start again. Like I like the feeling that I can make.
What if you lost it all?
It is what it is. I'm less scared of losing it all and more scared of not having it if I need it. For any reason. Like if like my mum got sick and like I had to pay for her life for a few years.
Is there anything in life that you've actually not been able to navigate through?
No.
Well, why are you so focused on it then? Like, because I understand it. Like, don't get me wrong. I completely understand it. But do you think maybe if I look back, the thing I did wrong was I didn't take a more whole approach. I was just so hell-bent on becoming number one.
Yeah.
So hell-bent. Like, you got no idea. Like this. Like, I'm actually watching you going, yeah. But because it's pretty much guaranteed. Like,
yeah,
it's guaranteed that you're going to be wealthy. It's guaranteed. It's just you're trying to bridge the gap so quickly. But
I just enjoy it. Like if tomorrow real estate didn't exist, I started in a truck company, and they're like, today you're gonna. I'd be like, who's the CEO? And you give me 5 years, I'll be the CEO. Like that's just how I feel. I have no interest in being like some people are just happy there or grow a bit and say like, I'm always like, how do I get to the top? And how
But
fast
you just
can I
said
get
before
there?
that you're just not wired like me. But I'm actually just listening to the same thing.
But I'm need to prove it to other people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't.
No, not at all.
So we both want the same things, but different drivers.
But I used to. I wanted to become number one so I could be. People go, yeah, you're number one.
Yeah, that's 100% what my mindset is.
Yeah. Now I'm just like, what? You know, it's like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I think it's really, really hard too. Like it's so hard. Like building anything. Great body, wealth, this, that.
Mm.
Like, and there's so many people just sort of coast along with the easy option. I want to be like, well, yeah, like he was a really standout. Like he was like, we look at real estate agents, businessmen and go like, wow, like the things that person must have done to get to where they are.
Mm.
I want people to look at me like that.
Yeah.
I want my funeral.
Do you think they are already? Yeah, your funeral. Here we go.
I want my funeral to be like, just everybody like, just like,
You want to be buried in a Ferrari? I know you do.
But everybody be like, he just changed everyone's lives in a good way.
Yeah.
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 know
What about
that's it.
changing your own instead of, why are you so focused on other people? Like, I understand that you want them to recognize you, but like, do you think?
I think I'm trying to undo the damage that
Yeah.
I did early on.
I reckon people, you know, I had an owner say to me once, I don't know if I've mentioned on one of these, but he said, and he's a Felix, he's an owner that's I've dealt with for years and years now, and I was selling his house, and he said, he goes, Matt, you're like this enigma, like everyone knows about you, but no one sees you. And this is years ago, long time ago, and I was like, yeah, because I don't go anywhere, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to be as out there in people's faces. I think your results speak for themselves. Do you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know how desperate you are to be loved by everybody. Like I said to you, what did you say a while ago? You just want to walk down the street of Terrigal high-fiving people and going to the cafe or something, and everyone goes, that's Jordan Bulmer.
I think one day I want to become bigger than real estate.
You may.
Like I want, like, yeah, I don't know the position, but I feel like it's like a worldwide position.
Is it? Hang on, I'm just going to call Donald Trump, see if he can move over.
Like,
But yeah, but that just comes from what I see. Like if you look at Donald Trump,
yeah,
you know,
become a very
he's
successful.
probably one of the biggest brands in the world.
Yeah,
But he started building
real estate assets.
building units,
Yeah.
you know, and then but he's doing a really good job. And I think it comes back to that. Like that's why I'm not really phased these days about, you know, who knows what or whatever, because if your results are that good, people just find you anyway. They hear about you, they see you, all of that sort of stuff. You know, maybe I could do a bit more self-promotion, but I almost don't want to. You know, I only put real estate reviews on about 10 months ago. I had no real estate reviews, no nothing. And the only reason I did that is because Ash was like, you really got to put some real estate reviews on your realestate.com and things.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, yeah. But like I never had any there. Like it just didn't really even come into my mind. You get other agents who are so like focused on, as many as you can. But I'm sure they're only going to show the good reviews.
But yeah, I know. But and you said the most perfect thing about reviews ever. You said I've been selling houses for 30 years. Like if people don't know who I am, they're probably not the right clientele for me anyway.
Yeah.
Which is so true. Like, oh, here's a review, like number one agent in the country, but here's a review from Doris saying thank you for doing a good job. Like,
yeah.
you don't really want to be selling yourself to somebody anyway. Like, oh, please listen with me over the agent that's been in the industry for 3 years. It's half as cheap as me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
about
rate my agent. I've
me,
never
not
been on rate. They ring me all the time, and I said, just stop ringing me. I'm not interested.
No, you told them to take you off
Yeah,
their
take
platform.
me off there. I don't want to be on there. Because it's like all of that stuff, like I understand, like I understand there's a place for it and all that sort of stuff, but probably in a funny sort of way like you, I wanted to become that good at it that I didn't need any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Not in an arrogant way, just more like just doing my thing. You know, like, oh, that's that guy. He does a really good job, or he's, you know, got a lot of good, if you heard his story or whatever it's.
But it does happen sometimes. People like beg you to take their listings.
Yeah, this lady that rang the other
She'll be like,
day.
please. And
She's
you're like, it's not for me.
There's this lady that's been ringing over the last sort of week or so, maybe week and a half. She's with another agent. The other agent's sort of like not doing the best job. And anyway, she's like started to like, she wants me to sell her house, but she's like grilling me at the same time. And the other day, just Friday, she's like, oh, the other agent's got an offer. And I said, look, if you get this offer, just take it. Like, just move on with yourself. It's like such a anxious calls every time. And she's like, well, what are you going to do different, do you think? Like, and I just said, well, this, bit of that, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, yeah, but what are you going to like? And I said, hey, you're ringing me. Like, stop grilling me about this stuff. I'm telling you, and you're just disregarding everything that I say. I was like, I'm not trying to get your listing. Like, you got to understand that. I'm not selling you to get your listing, but you keep grilling me. And I'm like, you're ringing me.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm not disregarding anything you're saying. I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, you are. Anyway, I got off the phone. I just sat on it for a minute. I texted her and I said, look, I really appreciate your calls, but I think you better just keep doing what you're doing or something different, because the energy's not aligned. I love when energy's aligned with stuff.
Yeah.
It's the best. And one of the things I was thinking about yesterday, and we've touched on another thing, but defining our way forward now, for me, is what I say no to. It's just, and I don't mean that in a way that I'm better than whatever, but you've only got an amount of time in the day. And how you spend that. Like, for me, fitness is very important, because I think it's, I do think it's a bit of an advertisement for yourself as well, a little bit. Like when you walk into somebody's home, what did Kimmy say the other day? She goes, you look like Captain America without the shield. But I sort of like that in a way, because like they can see like I'm a pretty focused individual. Yeah. Like I like that. When I say it's an advertisement for yourself, I didn't come up with that. A guy that I know really well is an investment banker, and he's very fit. We've talked about him, Andrew Thinger, and he said fitness is like an advertisement for yourself. When you walk into a room, people can see what you're about. I like that. I liked how he said that. I thought it was interesting. And but what was I saying before that? I forgot the thing.
What Kimmy said about
before that. Time.
Yeah.
And then so you got to start saying no to some stuff, which is your number one problem.
I can't do it. You blasted me on Saturday.
I do. If I yell at you one more time for doing ridiculous things for people who really don't appreciate it, they just don't. These people. It's like you've got all these energy zappers around you at the moment. I've got this big racket trying to get them all away from you. It's because you're so keen to do things for people to impress them. It's actually becoming a problem for you. Soon you'll become very ineffective. Not just
it's becoming exhausting. I was saying it too. Like more and more people call me every day. Like, can you help me with this? What do I do here?
Can you come water my daisies? Yeah. It's like all of this sort of stuff. And I can see it. And I'm like, Jordan, you have to start saying no. Because I reckon for myself to perform at my best and to be all round, you got to remember for 20 years I did nothing else but real estate. So I'm talking from a place of experience here. If there's one thing I would have done differently, it's that.
Tell people no.
Tell people
I
no.
struggle telling people no.
No, I know you do. Mate, you're solving problems of agents in Gosford. You're doing this, you're doing that. Like this the other day, you're like, I'm going to go meet this guy because he's, done something wrong. I'm like, why are you getting involved with these people's lives? Like, they don't care for a start. They really don't care. They do not, in the long run, they won't care what you spent 2 hours with them listening to this stuff. I understand it, but you don't have the 2 hours to give. Like, because you're dying in exhaustion, you have to take care of Jordan first and then give to everybody if you have time. And I reckon once you sort that out, you won't have the time. That's why when people ring all the time now, and they say, going on the sale, Carolina Pup. Sorry, it's one of my owners. Yeah. But when people ring now to meet, I just don't meet with people. I can't. I just, unless it's a business work, like selling a house or listing whatever, or helping an owner get ready, something like that. I just don't meet with people. I said, just give me a call if you need to talk about something, because people are like, oh, can I come meet with you? Because I need to sit there and waffle on about my own life, about their life. And I'm not a counselor. Yeah. And even in terms of mentoring, I just don't have the time to dedicate to these people. But if you say yes, where are you going to take it away from? Where are you going to take it away from? You're going to take it away from your family, your fitness, your work,
Yeah.
your wealth creation, where are you going to take it away from?
Comes from somewhere.
It comes from somewhere.
Mm.
So always remember, if you say yes to one thing, you're taking it away from somewhere else. And I've got to the place now where I'm like, I'm just not willing to compromise because I've been there. You know where you end up? You end up disconnected, unhappy, and detached. That's where you end up.
Mm.
Burnout. Burnout is nothing more than you got nothing left in the tanks.
Yeah.
But everyone wants something from you.
Mm.
That's all it is.
Mm.
It's not that you're burned out from work. The work's actually enjoyable.
Yeah. That fills the tank most of the time.
Well, it does. If you go head into the day and it's a really well structured, good day, lots of good things going on, you're keen.
Mm.
But if you're overwhelmed and 30 people are chasing you, you've got to go and see all these other people. You can't physically focus. You won't be present. You're not taking care of yourself. Something's going to give.
Yeah.
And that's where, when people go, oh, I'm just going to go. And there was a lady called Erin Honeyman, I think her name was, Century 21, #1 agent, Century 21. This is years ago.
Mm.
She left in real estate and just went and managed a boat marina.
Just sent her crazy.
I was like really curious. I was like, wow. And that happens a bit.
Yeah.
People go, oh no, I'm out and I was going to do nothing.
One of our friends said something similar to me. Dal said to me, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, probably doesn't listen to the podcast, but he said to me, mate, I just can't wait until my wealth's at the point where I can just quit and drive Ubers. He goes, just for something to do. Like he says in 10 years or whenever, when he's done with real estate, he's just going to literally pick a person up and be like, hey, good morning. Like, oh, we off to the airport. He goes, because then he just clicks on and clicks off. He knows that his money's sorted.
Why not do it now?
Yeah, I know.
Like, just if they hate it that much, just go do that thing. It's like people retirement. 65 comes and boom, you retire. Like, why is that?
Yeah.
I've never understood it.
Do you think real estate has a shelf life? Like, do you think you don't?
No, someone said to me recently, it's a young man's game. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, he just left real estate. He goes, it's a young man's game. He's younger than me. And he's coaching people now. And I'm like, what does that even mean? It's a young man's game. That's where I'm, you know how we're talking about your inner self? I'm like going, well, for a start, that makes no sense to me. But on top of that, I'm like, well, I feel more ready now to find my true potential, to find what I'm capable of than when I was 30. When I was 30, I was just a mess.
You've worked out how to enjoy it now.
Yeah. Like I reckon I had hardly anything to offer in my 20s, in my 30s. Like I reckon I was just like all over the place. Like just a bit like you. No, I'm not joking. Like I just want this Ferrari. I'm like, I used to have a dream of having a car with a Ferrari and a Range Rover and some other car like in the thing. I was in my mental movie. I couldn't care less about a Ferrari now. Like,
I wonder if it'll change for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll probably get it and you'll experience it. The Ferraris I've been in, mate, I'm sorry, but they're not even comfortable. They're like terrible. You're like, and then whoever's driving is always going too fast, and I feel like the car's going to flip. I'm just like, can you get me out of the car? Like, I'm not interested in you showing off and driving fast. It's just the most. I don't understand. I understand it's the experience of owning one, like I really do, and I'm sure there's much wealthier people than me that love them, no problem. But for me, I'm like, I just don't see the point. They're not comfortable, and everyone looks at you. Like I don't understand it. But that's just me. I mean, there's many other points of view out there.
Well, let me ask you something about wealth. Well, I don't really have any money problems for my age, but like I'm growing it for certain reasons. Like you've grown a lot of wealth, but don't really spend it.
No.
So it's like,
oh, my kids, I do.
Yeah, you do.
And we're just about to build a really nice house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's half of the family. Like you would be quite happily living in here. But don't you ever think like, you've got it, why not just spend it on stuff?
No.
I do.
I don't need to. Like I don't really need to. Like I like doing the Bondi to Bronte.
Yeah, I know that.
You know,
it's
like
bizarre.
Tara's like, why don't you buy new shoes? And I'm like, oh, I don't really need them, do I? Like, she's a bit dirty, and I'm like, I don't know. I quite like them. They work well. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't have a need to. I think a lot of the things that people buy is to impress other people. I really do.
100%.
Yeah, like I do. Like it's, but I'm just at a place I don't. That doesn't drive me. Like what drives me is feeling good, like around time and routine, and going to the factory and then hanging out with Tara, then making sure the kids are all right. Like I like that. What else do you need more out of life? If we want to go on a good holiday, we can. But it's like
that's probably what's going to start like coming into your life soon.
Maybe
is more stuff like that.
Yeah,
you're not a materialistic person at all. You wear a $20 shirt, no jewelry.
Yeah.
Like if the shoes are $300, you're like, oh, that's probably a little bit too much. Like I'll buy the $199 ones. But like you'll buy a really nice house, and like I think you'll start going on some family holidays that suit you. Like you're not going to Fiji and laying on the beach for 2 weeks and that's it. Like it'll be something
like adventure, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe need to do a bit of adventure. Let's wrap this up on this one. So we're heading into this week. I want you to start thinking about what you're capable of, where your time is needed. Like I'm going to help you, Jordan, sort these little sucker fish out in your life who is just taking your energy from everywhere. And you're building a career, so you're going to need some of those, like you do. But you've got to start really identifying. And the best way to what to say no to is how you feel. Like, I just don't want to do anything that doesn't feel right to me. Like and I just don't. And the blunter the better. Like we have a saying, the blunter the better. And it's so true. It's such a good way to live your life. Like if you really feel this, you got to line up with that and be honest, like with yourself. You get so much energy. I wrote a note the other day around saying no, and it's no leads to happiness.
Yeah.
And I reckon it does. Like I reckon it's not just saying no to everything, sitting in a room and not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But when you feel a prompt to do something, you've got to go with it. Like this podcast today, I woke up and I was just like, felt a prompt to do this thing. And I didn't want to wait till tomorrow. I had to go with the prompt. So I ring Jackson, who's at home with his new girlfriend. And then, and you, and I said, where are you guys? Let's do a podcast there. Because going with that prompt. And that prompt is the same for no as well. So like, I don't want to go to a dinner with people in Terrigal where everyone's around. I just don't. It doesn't feel right to me, so I just don't do it. Like I just say no. I don't go to Terrigal for dinner. But for some reason, people have a problem with saying how they really feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if you can, in my view, no leads to happiness. You've only got so much time in the day. What are you really capable of? Where are you going to get the time from, and what's important to spend your time on? If you start really thinking about that, I reckon in 5 years' time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you're gonna achieve so much stuff in your life. I reckon you're gonna actually amaze yourself. I reckon you're gonna amaze yourself with what you're gonna meet up with. But on top of that, if you start living a life that's frequency based, so your results at work, your girlfriend that you're going to attract 6 months, a year, because people are out looking for all these things, but they don't realize everything that's their experience is coming to them. You're not going out to find it. It's coming to you. So if you start looking at it as a frequency-based thing, and here's a quick example. If you have to go to dinner with someone you literally can't stand, how do you feel before dinner?
Yeah, you probably feel anxious and weird for the whole time leading up to it.
And what would you rather do instead?
Something that makes you feel good.
Yeah. So why say yes?
Not go. Yeah. Most people do it to make other people happy.
What's your body telling you to do?
Say no.
Yeah. Say no. So if you've got...
Some people aren't brave enough to say no.
No.
Like that.
It is a skill.
Yeah.
So let's say you've got 10 appointments in the day and someone rings for an 11th.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah. Like, I'm already wobbly with 10.
Yeah. And what do we usually say?
Yes.
And then what happens?
It breaks the whole day.
Yeah. And then you start to move into the frequency of overwhelm. And you know where overwhelm is on the scale of energy, the emotion?
Down the bottom.
Down the bottom. Once you're in overwhelmed, you can start to feel it come, and over time and over days, and then all of a sudden everything starts to fall over, drop, not work out. You start to become flat as, almost a bit depressed, like that sort of stuff. You've been there. Yeah?
Yes.
So what's better, to say no to that one and help them out, find another solution, and protect your time and your feeling inside to move through the day freely and pumped, or say yes and let it totally own you, and potentially you'll fall over with overwhelm, emotional wobbliness? What's better?
Well, doctor surgery is a perfect example of that. Can I get an appointment on Monday at 11? No, I'm sorry. The doctor's with a client at that time. We can do Tuesday at 11, Wednesday at 4. Which one do you want?
That's right. So they can work in logical sequence.
Yeah.
They just have people everywhere just doing whatever. They're always running late, by the way. But
yeah.
But can you see what I mean? And you know what it's all for, George? It's all for managing your frequency position now, because every single thing that you want, everything, not some things, everything will come when you're a vibrational match and you've worked hard in the direction of it, improved yourself slightly every day, and your frequency will increase. And at some point down the track, that thing will come into your world. It's guaranteed. Remember, it's a law. So do you want to do that now for the benefit of having it later? Or, and it's like Jackson, that opportunity of meeting his girlfriend, the thing that was most important to him at that point in time, who's literally going to change his life. I can see it. And she is a perfect match that he would not have attracted before. Remember, she would not have come anywhere near his vibration before. If he went out and had a bender the day before, or even the weekend before, would he have aligned to meet her? How he did in the logical sequence, that things are controlling the circumstances around us. They're lining things up. Angels, energy, whatever you want to call it, are constantly lining things up for us. But our job is to get vibrationally aligned to them. That's how important today is. That's why it's important to say no. And that's why it's important to do things that are going to move your frequency forward.